Hi everyone, my name is Lindsay and this is my friend Ligia. Today we're going to be sharing Ligia's story of how God brought her and her husband together, how God revealed to her who she was going to marry, and the journey that she went on in that process. So I hope that this story is a blessing to you. It's a beautiful story. She's shared it now with me twice. And yeah, so we're going to get into it. Tell us, where does this story begin? Where are you from? What is the backstory that got you to what God led you to?
Well, my name is Ligia. I am a Romanian. I lived in Romania and I came in Australia in 1990. Before that, like every young girl, I wanted to know who is going to be my match, my perfect match. um, so I loved God all my life and I had a good foundation with God. I served God, and I was all the time, let's say, stick with God like this, because I loved Him and I never lived without Him. Um, Lots of prayers, lots of time of fasting in my life, lots of questions addressed to God in regard to this. I had a number of guys which I dated, from time to time, but nothing went smoothly to say that he's my match or he's going to be the best partner. One day I asked God who is going to be my partner.
How old were you at this time?
I was about, let's say, I was about 25, 26.
Okay.
So
yep.
I wasn't married.
Yeah.
I was to a wedding with my sister. My sister is younger than me, and she had a boyfriend. So I was with her as my sister, and she was with her boyfriend and his brother. So we were at the wedding, and looking on the right and looking on the left and everywhere, I asked God. I was talking to God, mentally. Who is going to be mine? Who is going to be my match, my perfect match? And at one moment, looking at the exit or the entrance of the tent, where the wedding was, a guy entered in, so with his friend, and they were laughing and joking, and he was entering in, and God said to me in that moment, "He is the one."
Oh wow.
He said, "He is the one."
And how did you respond to that?
Well, it was not just a thought, a normal thought. It was something special. It was, I could hear that it was a divine.
Mm-hmm. It wasn't your thoughts.
No,
it was God's thoughts in your mind.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
how did you react to that? Did you like that, or how did you feel?
I didn't like him, and I said, no way.
Why?
I don't like him.
Did you know him before?
No, I knew just her name.
Yeah.
I mean, I knew
name.
his name.
Yep.
But never had interaction with him.
Okay.
But I just didn't like it. Probably in my mind I had a different kind of picture.
Yeah.
Because I was, especially, I think I was a tall girl all the time.
Yeah.
The tallest girl probably at that time.
Is he your height? Is he taller? Is he shorter?
He's probably 2 or 3 centimeters only taller than me.
Okay.
If I wear high heels, I would be taller than him.
Okay. I mean, that's sufficient.
And probably I looked, or my aim was for a taller guy,
So he wasn't meeting your height criteria that you had in your mind?
Yeah, but probably was not my type.
Okay.
I think it was not my type.
Just the looks were not quite what you were wanting.
Yes. But over the years, I got married with another guy.
Oh, you married somebody else?
I married somebody else.
Okay, and how did that go?
So I crossed the border from Romania to Yugoslavia and illegally, and I came to Australia and I married another guy. Our marriage was not well.
Mm-hmm.
We end up separating and divorcing. I was alone as a single mother with 2 children, with 2 boys on my own for 4.5 years. And after that,
And you're how old now? You'd be like close to 30?
I
more
was
than 30?
I was about 37.
37 at this
Yeah,
point.
I
Okay.
reached 37. Yes.
Okay, so like a whole, what, 12 years have gone past?
Yes.
You've forgotten about what God said to you at
Yeah,
that wedding. You've
totally
married somebody
forgot.
else. You've had 2 children. You've got a divorce. You're by yourself now.
Yes. Bad times, you know. After that, I was single, and I was looking forward for another marriage with God's will, if it's God's will.
Mm-hmm.
At one stage, I was called by my sister to go in Romania for a wedding of one of my cousin.
Mm.
Actually, it was a niece, and I just didn't want to go.
Okay.
So
So you're living in Australia.
I was living in Australia.
They
yes.
wanted you to come back to Europe.
Yes.
Okay.
To visit,
Yeah.
to visit Romania. And every time my sister called me and she invited me to go and to make a decision to go to that wedding, because lots of relatives will come and I will meet my relatives from far away, and maybe I will meet them, you
Yeah.
know.
Be a good opportunity to see everyone.
It was a good opportunity, yes. And every time I said, no, I'm not coming. But it happened for quite a few months before. And every time I said no. And the wedding was on August, and as 1st August started, I don't know, I just felt a nudge in my heart, just go and do it.
Yeah.
So in 1 week, I just prepared everything, you know. I booked a plane ticket, I made an arrangement with somebody to look after my children, and I went to the wedding. We've been to the wedding. It was a beautiful wedding. I met many people over there. After the wedding, we went to visit the part of the north of Romania with my sister. And after that, her husband insisted me to go in his town, because they were prepared to go in his town. But first of all, I said, no, I'm not going, because I don't know anybody there. And he just insisted and I said, okay, I will go, because I have nothing else to do in my town. Anyway, I went there and I met a guy. I've seen a guy who with 2 years previously, my cousin met him, and she gave him my name and my address to contact me in order to get married. I mean, to know me and to get married. He never contacted me, and he never rang me, he never wrote me any letters.
Okay, so there's someone in Romania who's looking to marry, and your mutual contact has said, hey, well, there's this person, Ligia, like you should get in touch with her, but he never followed that up.
He never followed me for this up, and I wasn't interested in him, because I thought, if he's not interested in me, why should I be interested in him? So I have seen him there, and my sister, who was with me over there, she said, that's the guy who didn't contact you to know you more. And at the first glance, I said, oh, well, I'm not interested in him.
Yeah.
Forget about it.
Did you know who that was?
Yeah, I knew who was. And this was Friday night at the church, because over there in Europe, in Romania, there is church Friday night, Sabbath morning, and Sabbath afternoon. So I wasn't interested. I didn't think about him Friday night. Sabbath morning, we came back to church, and my sister showed me that, you know, he's just there somewhere. We went to lunch, to Sabbath lunch, being invited by some another family, and my sister was invited to another family also. And when we came in the afternoon for church program, I have seen him at the corner of the church outside talking to another two guys, and I looked at him and I said in my mind, this is the guy.
This is the guy?
This is
the
guy.
Same guy from all those years ago?
The same guy, yeah.
Yeah.
And I went in the church, but it was earlier, like half an hour earlier, and I said, well, I'm not going to sit in the church, I'm going outside in the sunshine. So I went outside and I've seen him there far away in the corner of the church, and I said in my mind, okay, I'm going to talk to him to see what is got in his mind, what is he thinking. So I went to him and I said, hello, how are you guys? And I said, I know you. And the other guys disappeared.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, we remained there and we had a chat, we talked. So not much, because in a few minutes the church started, people were coming in the church, so we went to the church. And the church program went well. It finished. This was in the afternoon. So coming out of the church, in the backyard of the church, he invited me to go to a wedding the next day for one of his cousins.
Okay.
And I said, yeah, okay, I'm coming.
Oh, so you were his date to the wedding?
Yes. And my sister said, hey, what are you doing? I said, well, I have free time, I have nothing to do.
Visiting in Europe?
Yes, I'm just going, just to have fun. So yeah, I went.
Okay.
So I could see that in our discussion, everything went well. I met him over there, his mother, I met his brother and his family, and yeah, we get acquainted with. And after that, our conversation went quite well. So from his town, he offered to take me by train in my city, traveling back to my home, to my city, my parents' house. So we get acquainted, and actually we agreed to get together, to get married.
Wait, how? You've only been hanging out a couple of days?
Let's say a couple of weeks.
Couple
because
of weeks
he came
now?
he came in my town. So yeah, just only not much, only a few days, let's say.
Wow.
Only a few days.
And you're deciding to get married after a very short...
Yes, because he came to my parents' house. We had to chat, we talked about it. Well, I asked my parents, what should I do, because I'm going to marry an unknown guy. I knew him by name, but nothing else.
You're 37, you're divorced, he's divorced.
Yes, he was actually 35.
He was 35.
3 years younger than me.
Okay, yep.
So, well, it was not easy. But my parents said, well, we should ask God, we should pray and ask God if it's His will, And I found out, I mean, I remember that from my previous marriage, my divorce papers were not finalized.
Yeah.
So I had to go in the other town, in my ex-husband's town, to finalize the papers. And over there, I had to buy 2 stamps in order to be this paper to be finalized. So I should go to buy these stamps like to the post office.
Sure.
So I went actually to quite a few post offices, and they said that these stamps are missing for quite a while and they cannot be found. So in that moment, I realized that I have to ask God in prayer for Him to show exactly what should I do. So I told God, Lord, if it is your will to marry this strange guy, please help me to find these 2 stamps in order to finalize the divorce papers.
Yes.
And I've been to the first post office, second, third, nothing. I could not find them. Every time I approached a new post office, I went in with hopes up high, and when the seller said, no, sorry, we don't have these stamps for quite a number of weeks, we don't have it, they didn't bring it to us, my hopes went down. But in every moment I talked to God and I said, Lord, if it is your will to happen, if it is not your will, I'm fine with that.
Yeah. Should we pause here and invite him into the video for a second? We're telling the story of how you guys got together, how God led. Would you like to pop your head in?
Well,
We're getting to a good part here. Come on, hop on in.
where are you up to?
Yeah, come closer.
There we go. That works.
Yes.
Perfect. Easy.
Yeah.
So this is Nick.
Yes. That's Nick.
They did end up together. We're just getting to the good part of how that happened. So we're
Yes.
looking for a postage stamp
Yeah.
at the post office.
Yeah. So I went to quite a few post offices. I could not find the stamps, and in the way, I met a lady, mid-aged lady, and she was looking for the same stamps. And I asked her, "Can I come with you, because I'm in a strange city. I don't know the place. I don't know where I can find another post offices to look for these stamps. So let's go together." And she said, "Yeah, it's fine. Come with me." And we went to quite a few other post offices, and the result was exactly the same. I could not find the stamps. And I was fine with that. I said, "God, if it is your will, yes. If it's not, I'm fine with that." So in the end, I separated from that lady, because in the end we could not find anything. We said goodbye, nice meeting each other, nice meeting you, and so on. So we left. We left separate ways. I went on the left and she went on the right.
Yeah.
So we departed for quite a number of steps. And after, she called me back, "Hey Ligia, come back, come back, come back." So we got back together, and she looked in her bag over there. I didn't know exactly what is she doing. So she looked in her bag, and after, she brought up 2 stamps, and she said, "Look, I have these stamps. I cannot finalize my problem." I didn't know what she needed for, but she said, "Maybe you can use it." So I was shocked.
That's so kind and generous. Wow.
Yes.
So she was looking for it. She had it in her bag.
She had 2 stamps, but she said, "I need more stamps to finalize my case, and I
okay.
cannot find it, but maybe you can use them and
Right.
finalize your case."
Because you only needed the 2.
And I needed only just 2. Yes.
Wow. That's so
And
special.
interestingly is the fact that she didn't know exactly how many stamps I need, because I didn't talk to her how many I need, but I needed exactly 2.
Oh, wow.
So I had 2. I finalized the papers. I went back to my city. I met this guy again in order to do our ceremony for marriage. In Romania, you're obligated to do your health check. So I done my health check in my city. He has done his health in his city. He like a checkup, you know, all over. And after, we came back together and we put the papers in a council of marriage or something like that. And they asked us, "How soon do you want?" And I said, "As soon as possible." She looked at me and said, "Why? Why you look so?" I said, I'm leaving the country, you know. So she said, "We don't have very soon." I said, "Well, maybe you have a cancellation, you know." Because she said first to me, "Oh, maybe in 5 weeks or you know, 6 weeks or something, a month." But I needed fast, because time was passing and my holiday was finalizing in 7 weeks. Was finalizing, and I had to leave the country.
Right. Okay. So you were only in Romania for
I was for a
like
holiday,
a
yeah.
couple of months, maybe.
Yeah, no, for 7 weeks.
7 weeks. Okay.
Yeah.
So all 7 weeks, and you're coming to the end of the 7 weeks at
Yes,
this point.
exactly.
Okay.
So
Time was ticking. You needed to get married.
exactly.
Okay.
So she looked over there. She found actually a cancellation, and yeah, we were happy with that. We put the papers in. We had a blessing in our church from the pastor from there, and after, we had a little festivity at my cousin's place. The cousin who gave him the address and the phone number to contact me with 2 years before, but he didn't. So at her place. And after that, I left. So I left him in the country for a year and a half.
So you were married, but you weren't living together for a year and a half.
Yes, yes,
Okay.
yeah. So
Just if I could just mention something which I believe you missed out on, when we find that date to do the civil, you know,
Marriage.
process, marriage. because after that, then we went to the church and we do the blessing. But when we look at the date to sign, the
when we signed the
marriage,
papers.
Document, we find out that was a very special date.
Oh.
Very special numbers.
Why was it special?
It was the 9th of the 9th, 1999.
Wow.
Yes.
And
And when I
Okay.
signed the papers, I was like, wow, look at this number.
Interesting.
And then even the lady said that that's a special day because I think it was International Day of Marriage.
Oh,
So
Wow.
yeah, we didn't plan for
Yes.
that. Obviously,
There you
that
go.
just came easy to
that was
remember.
the cancellation day.
Yeah,
so
that was the cancellation. Yeah.
there you
Yes.
go. God really provided for you guys.
Yes.
Okay, so you've gotten married. Now you're out of the country for a year and a half. You're not together. What happened next?
Next is that Nick placed all his papers into the immigration department. Not immigration, it
Yeah,
was
yeah.
the embassy,
Yeah.
the embassy of Australia, to come back, and he came in the country in 2001, and we started to live together like two strange people. I mean, two
Two strangers.
Yeah, two strangers.
Barely
two strangers.
met.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you only spent like a couple of weeks get together in Romania, and then
Exactly.
you've come back to Australia,
Yes.
and you might have had occasional phone calls. I'm not
Yes.
sure.
Yes,
How
they
hard that would
required
be,
that
but-
actually. The correspondence
Yeah.
and phone
Yeah.
calls and whatever. Yeah, let's
Yeah.
Yeah,
say.
and I can't
Yeah.
say that our marriage was smoothly and happy all the time, and yeah, it was of course like I think
Adjusting.
like adjusting to one another, adjusting to and it was with ups and downs, you know, but because I think it was very important the fact that we are God's children, committed to God, you know, living by principles, by God's principles. And one day, after a number of years, I still remember, you know, God came in my mind and he said, do you remember this part of your life? So it came in my mind exactly the talk of God that I had before.
Way back at that first wedding, out of the tent where you saw Nick, and
Yes.
God said,
Yes.
"It's him. That's
Yes.
the one."
And God said, do you remember this? And I said, yes. So yeah.
So you'd
He
forgotten
was-
about that all those years.
I
You
forgot
forgot about it when
totally.
you met at the second wedding. You forgot about it when you're getting married the
Exactly.
second time. And now, years and years after you're
Yes.
being together, God reminded you,
Yeah.
this is the one.
Yeah.
Was that in a moment where things were going well, or when things were maybe difficult in your marriage, or in life in general? Like, do you remember the context of when God reminded you of that?
Well, let's say in a day of normal life.
Okay, just going about your average everyday business, God just brought it to your memory.
Yes, exactly. I can't remember if it was in a bad day or a good day, you know, but just I remember that God was there and he said, that this guy was for you.
Wow.
I corresponded with another guy before, and when I went to Romania at that time, at that wedding, he was waiting for me at the airport, took me from Bucharest to my city with a car, but God didn't lead me to him at all. At all. It was like God leading me to this guy. It was very strange.
Yeah. Well, now you've been married, what, 27 years? Or 26 and a bit?
26 and a bit,
Yeah. Okay.
26. Yeah.
Wow. And so, what kind of adventures have you guys been on? How do you see that God brought you guys together specifically, and it's worked better because He's brought you together?
It was very interesting because when Nick came in Australia, I was already living in Australia for a number of years before him, and when he came in Australia, he didn't speak English at all, but he got acquainted with English so fast, unbelievable, and straight away he found a job in the school of my kids. He was working over there even if he didn't know English, and because he had this hobby to work with the radio, he was connected straight away with the radio. And we have another testimony how God led him to get involved with the Faith FM radio. And from there, because first of all he did few minutes of community radio in Adelaide City. First of all, he did it in Romanian language, and after one day he came home and he said, God is leading me to do this in English language. And I said, well, this is a big toll on you because your English is not perfect to be on the microphone of a radio, you know.
Yeah.
But God worked out that we planned, and he brought in interviews, he interviewed people, like asking questions, many other questions in regard to different kind of subjects, and soon his English improved so much. And after that he got involved with the radio from Melbourne, the Faith FM radio, and he worked with the radio as a presenter.
Okay.
And
I was coordinating Faith FM radio for South Australia for a number of years.
Yes, he was a coordinator. Yeah.
So from what I can see from just the bits of the story that you've shared just now, is that God planned for you both to be together for years before you actually got together. And probably part of the journey was that you actually came to Australia first, and then when you got to marry, then he's coming to Australia too, in order to get into this specific area of ministry that you're now part of. That's really fascinating. Like, if you had married somebody else or stayed married to somebody else, then you may never have been here, never been part of the radio. And if you had stayed married to that other person, he would never have been here, part of the radio. And I'm part of the Faith FM radio team as well, and so I know how important and impactful this radio ministry is. It's really cool to be on the same team as somebody who God has led to Australia in such an amazing way, and brought you guys together as like a power couple for the kingdom of God. That's where I like to see this.
Yes.
Well, it's just coming a bit late to this short interview, is that when we met first, and the first discussion was what's your walk with God? You know, I mean, what do you want to do in life? I was coming into the church from outside, from show business, for example, and I said, I want to serve God. I want to be a missionary. I want to, to be committed to the Lord. And I think that was one of the things with Ligia said, I want to do the same thing. Because it's important to find somebody, the Bible says to yoke, on the right,
to match
to the right partner, because otherwise, in life people can have all sorts of desires to, they like somebody, they may want to be with that person, but in the end, God knows how well those two can work for His glory. And I think that was one of the things. I will always encourage people. Actually, I'm thinking to work on a project in particular, dating guide.
Hey, you and I need to talk more about this off camera. Yeah.
But yeah, it's. I believe it's a privilege, to be able to see how God can work through, even though a relationship not always works
perfectly. Yes.
And that's not necessarily the measurement of success in a marriage. Success in a marriage is to stick with God, to stick with Jesus, and He will pull you through all the difficulties in life. I mean, I just want you to think of any couples in the Bible, and if you can give me a perfect couple in the Bible, I would like to see that.
Yeah.
All of them, they have big issues, and of course, because of the human nature, and because of the, because we're not always trusting in God, and sometimes, like Samson, just saying things, take it because I like it, or things like that. But yeah, it's look, overall, with all the ups and downs, we thank God for being with us for these numbers of years.
Yeah. I have another question. You guys, for you, God pointed Nick out and said, that's the one for you. You didn't really do anything with that information at the time. You weren't really holding on to that, as you were like, I don't like that idea. And moved on, both got married, both got divorced, both ended up together. Some people who listen to my YouTube videos may have got an idea that, oh, God has said I'm going to marry this person, but then that person goes and marries somebody else. Do you think that that person should hold on to that, or if maybe they've been deceived by Satan, or like, do you have any thoughts around that? Like, what is a healthy way to hold that tension?
I think when God promises something, He keeps His promise, and if it's I cannot say destined from Him, but it's just chosen from Him for somebody. So whatever is chosen is given. So we have to trust in God, and because when this thought I have from God, it never stays in my mind. I just forgot it. I put it aside. But lately in life, after so many years of marriage, God reminded me about this. And He said, okay, this was the perfect match for you. Even if our marriage was not perfect, because it was with ups and downs. Me and Nick, we are totally different. I have my different ideas than him. So we are very different. But still we can work together in the work for God, in the bringing Him glory and honor, and serve Him, being committed to Him.
Yeah, I think I'm really impressed by the fact that even though God told you and it eventually did work out the way that God said, He also allowed both of you the free will to do something else in the meantime. And that's really interesting to hold that both of those things in tension of God is sovereign and He has a good plan and it does work out, but He also allows for our free will in the process. And I don't think I've heard a story like yours where that has both happened, where God has said something and where you've done something different and God's will already worked out as well. So I think that's a really important nuance for our listeners is to understand that God might say something, God also allows you free will, and God ultimately has His plan work out in the end. So something to pray through, and really bring to the Lord if there's any tension that you might be feeling in what God has said to you and how it's unfolding or not unfolding in your life. Hey, are there any final thoughts that you guys would like to share? I think we're coming close to the end of our
I would like to
interview.
say that to trust in God and have a real relationship with God. It's very important to trust in God, to pray with Him, to have a real connection with Him, not a superficial one, to have a deep connection with God, because you cannot be a friend with someone if you have just something on the surface. You need to have a deeper connection with God, to pray with Him, to study the Word of God, to trust the Word in the Word of God, to know God at a deeper level. And God will feel that you are His child, and He will love you and trust you and work with you, do something to make you happy.
I just want to add to that. I haven't been from the beginning of the interview, and I don't know exactly how you.
We just kind of told the chronology of what God has spoken.
But what I like to say, if maybe somebody found themselves in a messy relationship. If you give it to God, God can work something beautiful even out of a messy relationship if you allow God to. That's why probably we have so much a high rate of divorce and all those things, because we encounter some difficulties and then we just give up. We just say, oh, that was not for me, that was not God's will. If that's the case, you'll marry and divorce, marry and divorce, and still not find the perfect person. But if you commit yourself for the good and for the bad, God can really bring something beautiful out of that relationship. Particularly when both of the parties are believers, and believe in God. The Bible supports that even if it's a non-believer, part of you still to commit to work together for the salvation of the other one. But this is one of the things which I believe in our journey with all the ups and downs. That was one of the things which I hold very tight on. Said, whatever is, I don't want to go to another divorce. I know what that means. You know, I know that I was young when I came into the church and I met a lady which was in the church, and I thought everything is just heaven on earth in the church, but that's not reality. You know, reality is to give it to God, everything what you have, and He will work something beautiful.
Yeah. Wow. Thank you so much for sharing that. Really wise words. Beautiful story. Thank you so much for joining me on this interview today. And hey, I really hope that this has been a blessing to you. Let us know in the comments what other questions you might have, or how this has blessed you. And don't forget to like and subscribe and share this with somebody who will find this to be a blessing. All right, I will chat to you guys another time. See you later.